them are more than pals.
Our show can be a little gay,
But if you're not,
that's okay.
you can listen and have fun either way. Xena, Star Wars, Doctor Who, guests and music and reviews. Game of Thrones, Winona too. We promise there's something for you. She nerds out. We're girls that like nerdy things. Nerdy things.
Hello and welcome to the She Nerds Out podcast. I'm Kat.
I'm Wendy.
And I'm Anne.
On today's episode, we have a very special guest host. You know her, you love her. That's right, you heard her voice. It's Anne Hicks-Bleecker. Anne will be joining us for a mail sack. We're going to talk some Oak Island. We're going to pick Anne's brain to see. We don't know.
Why are you talking about me like I'm not here?
I'm doing the intro, Anne.
Sorry.
And then with Anne as well, we're going to talk about the new Indiana Jones and Harrison Ford documentary. It's called Timeless Heroes. But first, hey, Wendy, did you know Anne's here?
Did I know? Oh, yes. I see Anne. Anne, I wish people could see Anne because Anne is wearing this red and black plaid blanket. Is that like a...
It
is
has
it a jacket
hood
with a hood?
and
Is it a blanket?
pockets, and you can
Looks
zip it
ridiculously
closed.
cozy.
My goodness.
Like you should be in a cabin in a snowy forest.
Instead,
Well,
she's in a garage in Thousand Oaks.
In California, freezing.
In the freezing 60-degree temps.
I have Uggs on. It's a whole scene.
I love it. It's a
Wow.
vibe, though. It's a vibe.
It's a good look. I like it.
is.
Thank you.
Oh, is that hot tea?
Oh my
I see it
God.
I'm drinking
Wow.
tea. Yeah,
What is happening over there?
it's dipped below 70. I can't take it.
You're from Wisconsin, aren't you?
Not anymore, Kat. Not
Okay.
anymore.
Oh, no.
All right.
Well, while you warm your cockles, I will do some celebrity birthdays because we have a very, very, very important birthday
Oh,
this week.
okay.
As important as a birthday can be to the SNOP, because, I just won't get into that. But it is the one and the only Amy Acker.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
November
say
5th.
somebody else.
I was going to say,
I think I say Lucy Lawless.
oh, no, she's not till March. You know that.
My bad.
But Amy Acker, her
Friend of the
birthday.
SNOP, by
December-
the way.
Friend of the SNOP. Big birthday, December 5th. Oh, what are you? Oh, look at that.
Nice mug. She's got
Good
your
merch.
little wine cozy, little why not merch.
That's right. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, how old is? Do I have to tell you what Amy's been in? Angel,
No,
House, a little show called Person of Interest.
What show? Does anyone you watch that show? We were unawares.
Careful, Anne.
Okay, I'm gonna guess first. I'm good. I feel good about this. I'm gonna say 46.
That's a good, strong guess. I'm going to say the lovely and talented Amy Acker is actually 48.
Oh my gosh, you surrounded it. She would
Really?
be 47.
Ah,
so
it's
you're in
gonna
the
be my
ballpark.
First guess.
You were right there in the vicinity. So good try though. You were close.
Okay.
Next up for December 7th, someone that I know Tara knows and loves. Well, doesn't know, but loves. From Eureka, California, apparently. Sarah Bareilles.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Oh.
My lovely wife and I, Leah, were married. We were just rolling through Eureka, California on our way back home on a road trip. And Leah's like, did you know that Sarah Bareilles is from here? I said, I didn't know that, Leah. Isn't that a good story that I just shared?
That's a
When
good
you
story
drove
because
through, did you say Eureka? We found it.
I did not.
No, missed
Um,
opportunity.
But I love Sarah Bareilles. Big fan.
oh yeah, she's great.
Gosh, I feel like she's around that same age. I feel like she's around I should say my age. You guys are older than I am. I think she is, I want to say around the same age as Amy. No, probably younger. I'm going to say 40,
Maybe older.
41.
No, that's too young. I'm gonna say
Dare you.
4. No. No. 4. 5. 46.5.
Oh, so close. She will be 44 on December 7th.
Okay.
44.
We keep circling the
You're
the birthday.
very close. Let's see if we can get this last one here.
Okay.
I don't know. Is there any word but legendary for this actress?
Wow, that's
Great.
some good people here.
Judi Dench.
Dame
Okay.
Judi Dench.
Dame Judi Dench. You're right. Dame Judi Dench. Hint,
This is
she's
hard.
not in her 40s.
No.
The other two.
I'm gonna say, if you want to go first, Anne, I'm still
No,
thinking.
I need to think. I feel like she's old.
Yeah,
She is, yes.
gracefully old.
Beautifully old.
I'm gonna say she is. I'm gonna say 64.
I'm gonna say 72.
Ooh.
I don't think you two have ever been more wrong.
Oh.
Judi Dench is going to turn 89 years old.
No.
She was born in 1934.
Holy crap!
I mean, that
Damn.
just shows how amazingly young she
Holy
was.
shit!
I was thinking
Sorry,
80,
I'm
but
sorry.
then I was like, I don't want to
89.
offend.
On December 9th, she'll be 89. Kat, what did you say? Like
89?
64?
Oh my god,
did you
she
think?
looks pretty
What
good.
was your guess? What was your guess?
70
Look
something?
No,
good.
Kat's was like 60.
64.
That's barely older than me. Have you seen Judi Dench?
Shut up.
Have you
Wendy.
seen people who are 64? But
Well,
Judi Dench does look really good.
she looks
But
amazing.
also she plays like sometimes they make her look really old.
Well,
It's
now they don't have to try as
acting.
hard because she's going to be 89.
I saw
Wow.
her probably on the Instagram. It was an interview she had done, and she was telling a story about how she has this phone. She doesn't know how to use it. Well, now the story makes more sense. And her friend was with a young gentleman who was a big fan. He's like, "Do you mind? Can you call my friend? It's his birthday. He would love it." And she's like, "Yeah, okay." So she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a bath first." So she took a bath, and she got out of the bath, and she called the guy, and she didn't realize she was on FaceTime.
Oh,
She
no.
gave the guy quite a birthday present. And now that story makes more sense.
But also you could say the same thing about me when you're like, oh, this story makes sense. She doesn't know how to use her phone. Like at any given time, I'm like, what is happening?
That's why
Make
we-
it do
That's
this.
why we call Anne Nana. Okay, Nana.
Okay, Nana.
Wow, what a powerhouse of celebrity birthdays.
That was a good one.
Although, like I said before, this one site that I use, I mean, you have to go through so many internet celebrities and YouTube and TikTok stars that no one knows and cares about. Like Amy's birthday wasn't even on that.
Unacceptable.
So I haven't found really any better source for these birthdays, but all I can say is it's flawed.
We get it.
Well,
You-
listen,
It's
you're
flawed. Well, they'd also remember back in the day, it was like Margot Martindale or something on there either.
right.
I had to find. I
Unacceptable.
found that some other way. So they miss actual famous, talented people,
Right.
but they include a lot of like, who the hell are these people? No one
Yeah.
cares.
We get it. You are doing the Lord's work, Wendy.
I try.
Day in and day out.
That's right. I want to acknowledge these celebrities on the days of their birth. At least some of
Very
them.
good.
Speaking of nothing to do with that, I did
Wow, what a segue.
She's good, right?
because I
She
had
works,
nothing
she
else.
works in television.
Hey, I'm not a writer, man. I push buttons. I did go see The Marvels again
Oh,
because
cool.
we talked a lot about that on our last podcast and how much we enjoyed it. And I thought,
Yeah.
number one, and then I kind of thought, well, what if I go back and I don't like it as much, or just plus do I want to just go see a movie again? I got things to do. I really don't have things to do, but so I ended up going partly because I wanted to just support it, because of all the negativity around it, and
Yes.
oh, it's not making any money, and so I thought, well, I'm going to go see it again. It was decently. I mean, there were 12 plus people in the little theater on a
Okay.
Friday afternoon.
Okay.
But after seeing it again, I will say I can see why. Like, it is slight, it is like it's a fun movie. There's not a whole lot of like depth and weight, I mean, there's nice moments here,
Yeah.
emotional moments, but it's mainly just a fun movie. I still just I think the woman cast as the villain, she did a good job. I just didn't necessarily like the casting
That's
of
fair.
it.
That's
But
fair.
I mean, I think she did good. I don't think she was bad. I just feel like I don't know. That villain didn't have the weight that I would have and she just seemed young, which okay is fine. The rest of them are young. You weren't going to cast a man as the villain because it'd be like, oh, they just cast women beating up on a guy, you know?
Right. Exactly.
But it was fun, and there were parts that I still crack up at, and I still very much enjoyed it. And really, my favorite part was, oh, it's cool. It's Carol, you know, and she falls to the ground and they're scared as the Ms. Marvel. But anyways, I still the cats, the Flurkins running around to the song memory was just classic, and I just laughed and laughed at that, and then the audience was laughing too. I mean, you know, it's just gotten so much unfair negativity that I thought I want to see it again, and I enjoyed it. Sat through
a lot of bad
80
press.
minutes of trailers beforehand, and
of course.
I have not seen it. I understand there are cats in it.
A lot of cats.
Are any cats harmed in this?
Not at all.
No,
I
you're
will
safe.
not be emotionally distraught by animals in this one.
No.
You know, if that were the case, I would not be praising it.
Okay.
And no, I would not stand by. It's the cats are more powerful than the people.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope it's going to be out for a while yet because I know I want to go see it with my son
I don't know.
for sure.
I mean, it's starting to get.
Take the
it's
kids.
starting to get a little less, and you know, other films are
it?
starting to show
I should
up.
probably
and
go this week.
Probably. I don't know how long it's going to be out. I mean, it's still in theaters. It's just you know, Beyonce's movie showed up, and
Sure.
other movies are showing up, and Aquaman's going to come in and take over, and
Okay.
Which
it could do just as well as the Marvels, and people will praise it.
Exactly. Well, and like, I mean, that's interesting to me. The whole Aquaman thing. I thought that DC was not moving forward with. I don't know.
I think this was already in the works or done.
Okay.
Maybe.
So confusing.
I have no idea.
But
I fell asleep in the first one a little bit. I saw it by
Really?
myself in Cary, North Carolina. I was visiting my friend, and she had to work, so I'm like, "I'll go see Aquaman." I'd been out for a long time.
Nice.
It's the only one in the theater, and I dozed a little bit.
So Bob
fine.
Iger, everybody's favorite Disney CEO, he won't just go away. He was doing an interview, and I sent this to you, I think, Wendy. I forget where it was, but he basically said the reason that the Marvels has tanked is because they were stretched so thin. The studio was stretched so thin with COVID and stuff that they didn't have enough network studio executives on set to supervise. And as someone who works with studio execs, you don't need more of their input. I will say that. Their input is never really integral to the creative process, let's just say. So Bob, sit down.
Shut up.
Shut up, Bob.
I always liked Bob, but now he's starting to get a little like he's
weird.
trying to
It's weird.
pass off blame, or I don't know.
Do we
Bob,
want
just
to
sit
make the
down.
Disney Mafia mad on this podcast?
I am part of the Disney Mafia. I'm not against it. He's definitely better than the Chapek or whatever that tried to come in and fill his shoes, and now I think he says he's definitely leaving in 2026 or something.
Sure.
We'll see. I mean, I think there's a lot of good things. I mean, this wasn't Kevin Feige or whatever. This was Bob Iger. So whatever, dude. Just get out of the way, and you don't know.
Yeah,
Feige,
nobody cares.
I will say it's come out, I guess, I don't know, last night or tonight, that they're saying we're not, because there was talk of like bringing back Scarlett Johansson, Robert Downey Jr., because Marvel's kind of floundering, and we want to, because people love them. They want the originals back, and I try to find a way to get them back. And he came out and he's like, no, we're not bringing back Iron Man. Like
That's good.
basically, we
Iron
worked so
Man.
hard to perfect his arc, to give him the story and a perfect ending moment, and we don't want to ruin that. We're not bringing him back, which nor should they.
I'm impressed that he said that.
And people are like, yeah, but you'll bring back a different Iron Man from the alternate universe, so we'll see. But I hope they don't. As much as he's my favorite one, I don't want him back. Don't mess with what you did.
He is my favorite of all the mans.
Me too.
And also, I mean, I pay for Disney Plus. I spend money going to Disneyland. Like, let's not get it twisted. I'm a huge Disney head, but doesn't mean we can't criticize some decisions.
No, for sure.
So bring it on, Disney Mafia.
There goes our Disney sponsorship.
Mickey shows up with like a crowbar to intimidate you. At the front
Speaking
door.
Trust
of,
me.
did you see that there was a streaker at Disneyland?
Yes. Okay. He was something. That boy ain't right. There's something wrong
for
with
sure.
Scott.
Something's not good. Yeah.
He jumped
was
out of the boat
evident.
at the It's a Small World.
And just sat in that little pool spot like he was in the spa with his friends.
Oh man, get out of there, buddy.
It was sad to see, actually. Like, it was comical for a second, and then it was like, oh no.
Yeah.
He
I heard-
thinks he's with people.
I heard people that they were yelling to basically they were scared he was going to hurt the ride.
I think it was
Like they were concerned for
security.
him, which I wouldn't have
think
been
it
either. Like you're an idiot. Get off
Yeah.
there. Don't break Small World.
Please, sir,
I-
you're going
it's
to
more
fall.
than I like you. Yeah, no, don't destroy the little Small World children. Put your pants back on. Get back in your boat, you idiot.
Oh boy, inappropriate.
Oh, speaking of Disneyland,
world of
they have
wonder.
their candlelight processional that I didn't know they had it here. I've been to the one at Epcot where it's basically the Christmas story from like the Bible, and they read the thing that they have a
Oh.
choir and then they sing, and
Okay.
it was really beautiful. I saw it years ago. I can't remember who the host, but they have celebrities come and like do the reading part,
Okay.
and then the choir sings, and it's this beautiful thing. And I didn't know they do it here, but apparently it's a lot harder to actually go to. Like there's invited people and they have seats. And if you're like, some people like run in the door and grab their spot and they'll literally sit there all day to catch a showing of it. And they only do it for a couple weekends. But
never heard of this.
yeah, I didn't know they had it here. But last night, Brie Larson was the celebrity narrator of the event. And I guess there'd been speculation on, is it her or a few other people that they thought it could have been.
Oh.
And then they were like, oh, Brie Larson's been spotted at the parks, but that doesn't mean she's doing it. But yeah, she was the celebrity narrator. But they have like Neil Patrick Harris has done it. So they get some big name people that go, and
That's
I think
lovely.
Kurt Russell did it last year. They said, some random, you never know who's going to show up. I think they publicize it at Epcot, but maybe not here. But I'm sure you have a lot better chance of getting somebody to just show up for a night.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I've never heard
But
of
yeah,
that.
so Brie Larson was there at
See?
Disneyland.
If
doing
they
the
didn't
thing.
like Brie, they wouldn't invite her to do stuff like this.
Exactly.
Everybody likes Brie with a
Everybody
little apple.
Warm it up a little bit.
Little crackers.
Okay.
Now I
Should
want
we-
crackers and cheese.
Should we jump into the old mail sack?
Oh my gosh. Jumping. And I'm first.
Yeah, you
I
are.
gotta get my bearings. Let's see. Who do I have an email from? That would be Carrie.
Oh.
Carrie says, "Hey y'all." Ooh. And that's the subject and the first line. Hey y'all. I like the good use of the word y'all. I haven't been able to write for a couple of weeks because my nephew has been super sick in an ICU.
Oh,
Never fear, though, because he's home now and doing just fine. He's 11 years old and is the closest thing I will ever have to a kid. So, needless to say, I spoil him.
Oh.
Well, that's good. I'm
Glad
glad.
he's doing good.
Yeah. That was a scary start to our first email. I'm
Yeah,
glad he's
Carrie.
okay. I've been trying to do more things on my long to-do list, and I have always been DC girl. But I've been trying to get caught up on all the Marvel movies, mainly thanks to Haley Steinfeld joining the Marvel Universe. I am currently on Iron Man Age of Ultron. Actually, it's Avengers Age of Ultron. So I'm getting there. You're getting there. But a funny story relating to this is at my second job the other day, and we were finishing up a total knee replacement, and the male PA said, well, I went to see the new Captain Marvel movie the other day, and even though I heard it had really bad reviews, I don't know why it had bad reviews because it was really good. It was really funny too. I said, well, it's because all these dudes who probably still live with their parents in their parents' basements who leave all these crappy reviews because they hate seeing a female lead in a Marvel movie. And the look on his face was priceless. He legit said, I never thought about that at all. That movie was really good and those guys suck. Haha, that made my day to see this dude just be a Marvel fan and enjoy the movie, regardless of who the lead was. That is so rare, especially where I live. So it definitely made my day. Good.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Glad. I feel like this is a movie that when it hits Disney Plus and people are just like, oh, I'll check it out for free. They'll be like, oh crap, that was actually really good.
I bet you're totally right. And I think it would probably do great in the second market and rentals and on Disney Plus. For
Yeah.
sure.
I also don't see, like, why wouldn't guys want to see a hot chick in a tight uniform?
Because she's more powerful than most of the other Avengers. And God forbid a woman isn't there to be rescued, but there to rescue people.
Please. Come rescue me. It's fine. Step on me. Whatever.
I know.
Crush
Hey,
me.
listen. Brie can do
God.
whatever she wants.
Was there this? I can't remember. Did we talk about this? Was there this kind of backlash and I feel like it got a little buried because it was during COVID, but when Black Widow came out, was there the same kind of?
Doesn't feel
I
like
don't
it.
remember
think
it, but
because she was an OG Avenger, maybe.
yeah,
And because she doesn't have any special powers, she's just an assassin. And
that's
she's kind
true.
of cool. And maybe, I don't know. But you're right, Wendy. There's a difference, right? The feeling
Yeah,
thinking about what critics and the fanboys feel about Black Widow.
and they love
is
Scarlet
so
Witch.
different.
They love Scarlet Witch too.
Yeah.
It's just something about, and I don't know.
Where's
I
the
think Brie made some
difference?
comments about I don't care what the boys think. There
It's
was more like
probably one boy. It's probably one boy in his mom's basement with a bot just doing bad reviews.
it could be a lot of bots. You're right.
Yeah.
Bots are everywhere.
It's very frustrating.
Carrie continues. Once I get all these Marvel movies watched, I'm going to start the Star Wars movies finally. So you guys will have to tell me the proper order to watch them once I finally do.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was never for lack of interest, just the fact that I was never exposed to them. This is the segment where I keep pushing women's basketball on you ones. Like you ones. Can I just say the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame is in East Tennessee and for good reason. Oh, yeah, because Tennessee's powerhouse. I do know that. However, y'all need to watch some women's Iowa basketball. Caitlin Clark is a once of a lifetime player. They have even had to have some of the games in football stadiums because all of her home and away games have been sold out for months. But anyways,
Whoa.
happy holidays to you all. And yes, I do know who Caitlin Clark is.
Oh, look at Wendy.
I remember watching her play. Yeah, she's like all really. I think I've. Yeah, no, I do know who Caitlin Clark was because I remember she was like a big deal because she's really good and
Amazing.
she was getting a lot of attention back in the last year, was it?
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I do. Yeah, she is really good. Yeah, it's Star Wars. Let us know, Carrie, when you're ready because we will
Yes.
give you.
We have
What do you think,
opinions.
Kat? In release order or chronological order?
I think release order because there's stuff that you'll get spoiled.
That's true.
I'm assuming Carrie knows all the big spoilers just because she's a human
If
on
you
this
don't-
planet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think release order is the way to go because then you kind of, it's there's stuff that you learn in the prequels. That's why it's a prequel. It's stuff that you kind of, I don't know. That's my
agree.
personal opinion.
I agree.
But
It'd be
yeah.
interesting. It'd be interesting to have the mind of someone who was watching them like from, prequels through original through sequels, just to see how it processes.
Yeah.
For someone
same.
like that,
Yes.
we'll never
Yeah,
know.
I'm curious if you watched them in the order story wise they go
Yeah.
for
What's
the
that feel
very
like?
first time versus like would it make it easier to understand? I don't know.
It might. I don't know. It'd be
Maybe.
a whole different experience that I can't imagine.
It's a good question.
And then you watch like Solo, then Rogue One before you even get to the originals,
Right.
and then watch all the animated series before the sequels or before in the right order. Just watch everything, and even Andor, just watch everything in its order. Wonder what that would be like.
That would be kind of cool. That's a cool idea. It'd take a while, but that's a cool idea.
Yeah, true. We got time.
What are we doing?
We'll wait.
I have an email from Abby 2.
Great.
Not Abby number 1, Abby 2. Hey guys, I wanted to let you know that I signed up for Hulu specifically to watch A Murder at the End of the World, based on Wendy's praise of the show.
Wendy's so excited right now.
Wendy gets a kickback. Shh. I'm hooked and can't wait to see how it ends. Great recommendation. After last week's podcast, I also watched Quiz Lady and thought it was cute and a fun movie. Definitely worth the watch. I watched that. That was a cute one.
It's good, right?
Yeah, it's funny. Since you guys are batting 1,000 with recommendations, is there anything else on Hulu specifically that I should watch and add to my list? I've already added Oak Island.
Yeah.
Timely.
What's up, Abby, too?
I'm not sure how long it will take me to get through 11 seasons, though. We'll talk about that. Also, I'll just start with the current season and work my way backwards.
I think that's smart.
Yeah. The recap of the first episode of Encounters was great. I don't have Netflix right now, so I was wondering if you guys would consider recapping the remaining 3 episodes. Any and all alien content is great. Happy holidays, Abby 2.
Oh,
Thanks,
Abby. you can be assured we will be recapping the other episodes of Encounters. In fact, I'd be all over that right now, but Kat hasn't seen it yet. I watched episode 2, and I'm all fascinated with it.
Wendy's already down the rabbit hole.
Oh, I'm down the rabbit hole. Just in a nutshell, the short story description of that episode is apparently in 1994, a group of young, like 5 to 8, 9, 10-year-old kids in a little small school in Zimbabwe had a mass sighting of a UFO. Some even saw the alien or whatever beings that were with the UFO. Some had telepathic communication with them. And it's this huge sighting and experience that I've never heard of till this. And now there's apparently another documentary about it. I've watched other videos about it. The kids now have like not wavered on their stories almost 30 years later. It's we're going to get into that.
Is this like a true story show?
Yes. It's a Spielberg. It's called Encounters. It's on Netflix. It's a Spielberg produced, very well produced
That's a scary
documentary. The first one was about a UFO sighting in Texas. But these are these massive events that have happened that I so far are over 2, having ever heard of them before. And I lived near the first sighting when it happened, and I still don't remember anything about it. So
they don't want you to remember. They erased your mind.
Maybe.
But the first one was kind of spooky. Is the second one kind of creepy and spooky? Wendy?
You know what? The creepiest part was because they show the interviews with the little kids from back in the day, and just watching these innocent children just talk about their experiences, and including one. The creepiest moment to me is this little girl being interviewed. And again, we're going to talk about this together, but they were asking her about that there was a sound it made. And he was like, oh, what kind? And she looked scared even while she's talking to him. And like, was it like a machine, like a whirring? And she's like, no, it was like someone playing a flute. And just the idea of hearing a flute-like sound while you're seeing a UFO freaked me the hell out. So, But yeah, the creep, and it's 1994, and it looks like it's shot in 1974. Like you forget, it's like VHS. The quality's kind of rough. And it just has this creepy, like back in the past, these kids are being interviewed about it. And they're so sincere, and they're so... and there's a whole lot more to talk about that we will definitely talk about.
I gotta watch it.
So glad you're watching Murder at the End of the World. Yes, it is an incredibly good show. I can't imagine where it's going to go. Very excited to see how it ends. But I don't want it to end because I really like it. As far as Hulu, I was just looking up original Hulu shows, and the only one that I've watched that I really enjoyed was Devs, Devs, Devs. It was like a futuristic tech company based mystery, kind of cool. Nick Offerman's in it.
I never saw that.
I liked it. It was good. I liked it. And I forget the other lady's name that I liked that was in that movie or show, but it was cool. That's the only one that I am looking at that I would say I've seen and would recommend.
There you go.
So, that was a very timely email because we've just been talking about all those things. So
Abby too. It's like you're in her head.
Thank you. And Quiz Lady, I still definitely plan to watch.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's very cute.
I have an email, and it's from Mish, and the subject is "This subject is subjective." Hello, Snoppers. Haven't written in a while, but I'm still listening. Attached is the proof via my Spotify Wrapped for the year. That's right, Wrapped is out, everybody. Everybody, Spotify Wrapped stats are out. I have to assume my fellow Knights of Snoplot are the other top 3% of mega listeners. The actual music section of my Spotify Wrapped was dominated by songs from a ship-centric playlist I made, the soundtrack from a gay video game, DLC, and my gym playlist a friend made, which is themed like the sort of songs that one of the characters from the aforementioned ship would listen to while working out. Which is to say the fan brain rot is real and it's powerful. DLC, do we know what this video game is?
No.
Nope.
I know TLC, the band.
No.
Okay.
So powerful, in fact, that I've had to force myself to stop writing fan fiction until the end of the year so I can finish some of the many, many, many other tasks which I've been putting off. Forcibly removing myself from all the creepy data collection sites out there, check. Christmas shopping, check. Rereading Murderbot in progress. House hunting, oh dear God, let's not speak of it. Oh boy, that's a lot.
Hey, Kat, just real quick.
Yes.
I think DLC, I Googled it, and I think it just means downloadable content game. So I don't know that's not like the name of the game. It just
Okay.
means a game with downloadable content.
Okay.
I may be wrong, but
Well, Mish, please let us know.
Yeah, you will clarify and tell us how dumb we are.
Yes.
Confident of it.
Educate us dummies about what the
unless I'm wrong,
hell
there is
you're
a game
talking
called that, but that's all I could find for DLC.
about. Okay. Well, thank you for looking. Mish continues. I haven't started watching A Murder at the End of the World yet. It's on my lengthy to-do list, but at least I do have a new show to get me through this period of forced adulting. My boss and a coworker kept going on and on about their favorite show, The Curse of Oak Island, and it's when he's excited again. And it sounded so silly to me, but I gave it a shot just to have something on the background while I cleaned. Turns out it's a delight. It's like football in that I only have to pay attention for a few seconds at a time, and all the dramatic speculation fizzles out in a comfortingly predictable way. But there's always that slight chance that something might go different, and that hooks right into the gambling pleasure center of my brain. Good
Bingo.
stuff. Do recommend. I'm sure there's lots of other stuff from the past few months worth of episodes that I should comment on, but I can't remember them all. So instead, I'll just say I hope all of your respective trips, vacations, surgeries, temporal anomalies went well, will have gone well. And I'm sorry for the parts that didn't shan't. I'm off to add write an email to SNOP to my to-do list so I can cross it off. Well done. Also, tell us what embarrassing secrets your Spotify Wrapped says about you. Mish, this is a great email. So this is, okay, there's going to be a trend in a couple of more emails. So far, I think all of our emails have mentioned Oak Island. Am I correct in saying that?
It's scary because that means someone's listening to us and
Murder
taking
at
our
the End of the
recommendations.
So what we did, so last weekend, I'm sure you listened, but I'll remind you, we Wendy and I, when Tara's away, Wendy and I talk about like
Whatever you feel like.
whatever, like
talking
paranormal
about. If
stuff.
one is away, all of a sudden it goes haywire.
Exactly. And at the end of it, we were like, hey, because Tara hates Oak Island, can you just email us and tell us how much you love it? So I think this is what's happening.
Oh, that's
so
right.
we'll have to do it again when we know Tara's coming back. And if we just flood the emails with just Oak Island content, that'd be great. So hold off on that. If this is genuinely like you like it, Mish, that's awesome. Thank you. And if this is you trying to troll Tara, thank you as well. But
you're going to have to do it again.
Yeah, you're going to have to do this all over again.
We'll have like a magic code word or something.
I love it.
It's go time.
Bobby Dazzler. And Mish included a couple screen grabs from her Unwrapped. And look at us right there at the top of podcasts that you love.
It's
the
not
most.
unwrapped.
What is it? Is it wrapped?
It's wrapped.
Unwrapped is the behind the scenes expose. Wrapped. Thank you, Anne, for correcting me.
Unwrapped is like the cheap version.
And then, yeah, look at that. Proof that Mish is in the top 3% of our listening, of our fans. And that's so fun to see. Wow. Over almost 2,900 minutes Mish has joined us for. Wow. That's a lot of us yammering on about stuff.
You don't do Spotify, do you?
Yeah, a little bit. I do a little Spotify.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you have the premium version so you get your Wrapped?
I do. I started the year with premium, and then the strike happened, and so I went off the premium.
Downsized.
I downsized. But yeah, my number one podcast, I'm not surprised. It's something that none of you listen to. It's called Not Another D&D Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I share my account with my wife, Leah, who I'm married to, all the top artists are people I've never listened to. So it's not a fun thing for me.
It's like people who are like, my number one was like a Kids Bop song, and they're like, thanks to my children.
Exactly. What about you, Anne? I know you're a big Spotifyer.
Yeah, I honestly got Spotify because of Wrapped 2 years ago. Like, I was so like, I want that to happen. My number one artist was Taylor Swift, and then my number one song was Unholy by Sam Smith. It's like such a dirty, boppy song. I didn't realize I listened to it so much, but apparently I did. And my number one podcast was unfortunately not you guys, but you were my number two podcast.
Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. Do you want to plug your number one?
Yeah, it was This Might Get Weird.
Oh.
Which is a funny comedy podcast with Grace Helbig and Mamrie Hart.
I will check it out.
To LA. They were like some of the OG YouTubers, but they do comedy stuff, and they're pretty funny.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Lighthearted.
When
did you use Spotify?
I don't a lot, but here's the thing. As soon as you're reading that, I went to see if it would tell me anything because I don't really use it, but it came up with my list of here's your most played song, blah, blah, blah. And it said it was Wham Bam Shang-a-Ling by Silver, to which my thought was, what the hell is that song? Is that what I listened to? So I was just playing it.
Uh-oh.
And it was one of the songs from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So back when that came out, I was listening on Spotify to a lot of music from that, all the different Guardians of the Galaxies. So that was in, I guess that was in the third one.
Okay.
But it, so that's most of my songs that I listened to on Spotify were just because I was listening to songs from the Guardians of the Galaxy films. And so I guess I listened to that one the most.
Got it. Okay.
So that's all. I don't really do a lot on Spotify, so it didn't say anything about podcasts or anything like that. It just said you listen to that song the most. So there we have it.
I think you were obsessed with this song.
I was listening to a lot of Guardians songs because we talked about Guardians 3 and how traumatizing it was, and then
you just wanted to
stay
in the fields.
But then they kept playing during that time. They would play the first two over and over. So I was seeing those a lot and I was like, I really like these and the soundtrack. So I would listen to them. So,
I mean, the soundtracks are like ridiculously good. It's such a big part of the movie. It's all the music. So, yeah,
right. And,
I get that.
Yeah, it was, I think it was from, this last one. I don't even remember. Maybe it was from the first one.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can watch that movie. It's going to be a while, I think.
I'm fine with it now. I mean, it's still sad, but honestly, the thinking about it was worse than the watching it and dealing with it. So, but anyway. All right. I got mail from Heather. Happy holidays. This is Hi Nerds. Another great podcast with Kat and Wendy, the dynamic duo. Sorry to hear about Tara's accident. This past February, my pickup truck was hit by a distracted driver who blew through a stop sign. Unfortunately, my truck was a total loss. Yeah, that just sucks. Luckily, my truck kept me safe and I didn't suffer a single ache or pain.
Whoa.
One of my co-workers was not so lucky and had a similar accident in a car at the same intersection and has been out of work since April. Wow.
No.
I had my truck for 13 years and I still miss it. My new truck's heated seats, which I was not specifically looking for, are proving to be a comfort to me as we begin another New England winter.
Nice.
They are great. I even use them here in LA. I have one comment about your conversation about the Flurkin scene from the Marvels. I think the version of Memories playing in the background was the version sung by OBE, the most excellent Order of the British Empire winner actress Elaine Page. I'm not knocking Barbara Streisand, but you should give some credit to the original West End Grisabella. I only said that because I think the director herself said she used Barbara's version in the movie. But I'm looking that up now. But I feel like and it could be wrong, but I feel like she did say something about it being Barbara's. So I'll look that up just to be sure. Because I wouldn't want to
look at the credits,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Check that out. I'll keep reading. Might I recommend the Netflix film Naiad to add to your viewing list? As a kid, I remember Diane Naiad being in the wide world of sports. Other than that, I didn't know much about her career. Annette Bening and Jodie Foster's acting is excellent in this film, and I still can't believe... Oh, it's a spoiler. Do I want to read this?
Oh.
Did you guys watch it? We
it's the point of the
about
film.
it.
Spoiler. I haven't watched it yet, but I want. Okay. I plan to. Diane, it just says, I can't believe Diane swam nonstop from Cuba to Key West in her 60s. So it's kind of a spoiler, but that's actually what the film's about. So
It's not a spoiler.
It's not
though.
really.
That's kind of the whole thing.
We know how it ends, right?
If it said like twist alert, she drowned, then I would have I didn't know that, but no, she didn't. This Thanksgiving, I watched the Green Bay game, and of course, America's team, the Cowboys. QB's Love and Prescott were entertaining. I thought Dolly's performance was great, but there were a lot of haters out there. There always are. The woman is a legend and a philanthropist of the highest caliber. She gave money for COVID research, gives library books to children, scholarships to her Dollywood employees to go to college, and saves fucking bald eagles. In my opinion, she can rock that cowboy cheerleader uniform all year long. I hope you all stay safe this holiday season and don't get picked up by any strange UFOs. Heather. I'm like, come on, UFOs. Well, let's see what you got.
No, Wendy, please don't. Do not tempt
No,
the
it's
UFOs.
not. We need a good 2024.
Boy,
So,
do we. Boy, do we.
I looked up the soundtrack, and according to IMDb, it is in fact the Barbara Streisand version of Memory. So I think Elaine Page is this. Did the show start in London? It must have, right? It's Andrew Lloyd Webber. He's British, right?
I don't know.
Oh boy, we're gonna make
See, I always
everybody
associate
really
Memory
mad.
with Betty Buckley because my parents worked with her back in their pageant days. So I always just think of Betty Buckley.
Interesting.
I don't know who was first. I don't know who originally sang Memory.
That's okay. It's fine.
Sang Memory. Can you imagine? How would people do podcasts? Okay, Elaine Page originated it. So,
Okay, there you go. So she original cast.
so
Great.
shout out to Elaine Page. She did originate it.
Shout out.
Yeah, but I guess they did use Barbara's version for the film.
There you go.
Good to know.
I watched Naiad. It was good. It wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
It's mostly terrifying. Mostly
Sure.
fucking terrifying. All I'm going
I've
to
heard-
say is the jellyfish.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And nighttime? Like,
Yeah, that's so creepy.
fuck that. No.
Mm-mm.
I
No,
don't.
thank you.
There's Drive, and then there's a little bit of.
I've heard that people said it was really good and the acting was great, but people come away thinking, wow, Diane Nyad's not really a person you want to necessarily hang out with.
Oh, she's difficult.
She's kind of narcissistic and obsessed with this. And I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it, so I don't know, but
She's all about herself.
yeah.
Interesting.
And I wanted it to be more gay.
Mm.
They really missed a chance to.
The trailer looks gay. I feel
The
like they were
trailer
setting it
totally
up.
looks
Well, they're both
gay,
Gay.
and
They
they're
just-
gay, but they're not gay together.
Right.
But there could have been gay. Like it was all just about the swimming in the
I don't see
water.
Jodie Foster. And I like Annette Bening too, but I mean, come on.
I love
Jodie.
both. I love both.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have been more gay. I was gonna say, speaking of gay, but I have no idea. I've got an email from okay. I have an email from Beck.
Who is very gay, for the record.
And we say, oh, it's just, okay. I'm gonna
Are you
start over
okay?
because I was like, "Is this?" We say, "Hey, Beck, hey," but first I gotta read,
Yeah.
"Hey, nerds," and
That's
then we
true,
do that. Okay,
yeah.
okay, let's start over. I have an email from Beck. The subject is no subject whatsoever.
Always.
No, typical Beck. Hey, nerds.
Hey,
Beck.
So my birthday was freaking awesome. As you guys know, I took Oscar to Sydney for an early Christmas present for him and a birthday present for myself to see a Jurassic World exhibition.
Yes.
Ooh, we know how you like those dinosaurs. I cannot stress this enough. It was fucking awesome. How awesome was it, Beck? The second you walk in, bam, a ginormous Brachiosaurus is right in front of you. The rest is a blur of excitement and adrenaline. I lost my absolute shit when Rexy came out. It was crazy when she roared. The whole place shook. Can you imagine it for a child? How insane this must be. Right?
So fun.
It was the best. Oscar and I were so giddy the entire time. Both our faces had massive grins from the second we got there until like 4 hours later.
Oh.
That's very sweet.
It is.
We also visited the largest Lego store in the Southern Hemisphere while we were in Sydney.
Whoa.
They had some awesome builds all throughout the store. There were a heap of really big minifigs, a giant eucalyptus tree with animals all through, and a giant mural wall of the Sydney Opera House. Oscar and I are no longer allowed to go away together without a sensible adult present. We went to Sydney with a single backpack and came back with said backpack as well as a large suitcase. Between the Lego store and the exhibition gift shop, we spent up big. Go big or go home, Beck. Have any of you guys watched Monarch: Legacy of Monsters on Apple TV? Oh, I just saw an ad for that.
What's it about?
I don't know. It says, I have not seen it. I randomly stumbled across the trailer for it and was wondering if it's any good. If I'm being honest, though, I don't really care if it's any good. I'll still watch it. Anything Godzilla and the Titans related is going to be a hit with me. I have no idea. I just remember seeing that header when I was flipping through.
I think I saw the trailer as well. And I think it's got, like a bunch of Godzilla and other type monsters in it. A bunch of people running around trying to catch them or something.
All right. Well, Monarch, I was thinking butterflies, but apparently it's not giant butterflies.
Wasn't Mothra like a big moth?
Yeah.
Butterfly-ish kind of thing?
100%.
That's terrifying.
All right. Well, more to come on that.
Can you guys...
Oh, by the way, Beck, real quick.
Moths? Yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, not when they're big like Mothra. Beck, are you going to see Godzilla -1? That's my question. If you love Godzilla, because I didn't even know this thing existed, and all of a sudden, apparently, it's this amazingly good 97% positive Rotten Tomato movie that people are loving. So, are you going to go see it? I want to see this now, really bad. Godzilla
Godzilla +1. Is it like Godzilla goes to a wedding without a date?
I don't know, but
it's
supposed to be really good, and I might just truck to the theater to see it.
Oh, it's a Japanese produced
Yeah.
film. Interesting. Okay.
It's apparently really, really good.
Is it subtitled?
I hope so.
Forget it. I'm out.
Deal breaker.
Done. Beck goes on to say, can you guys believe it's December already? What the hell? I bloody love Christmas, but I hate whoever thought of these stupid elves on a shelf. Oh, tell me about it. I complained about it last year to you guys as well, but seriously, Christmas was so much more fun when I didn't have to remember to move a stupid elf each night. Honestly, thinking up new ideas for this elf all the time is one of the biggest challenges I've faced as a parent. Love you guys. Bex XX.
It's B-Rex, by the way. It's B-Rex.
It's B-Rex.
B-Rex. That's funny.
I get it instead of T-Rex. God, I missed it. As a parent, I was gifted an elf on a shelf one year.
Lucky you.
And I was like, fuck that noise. Why do you hate me? And I sold it on Facebook Marketplace to another mom who was looking for one year. And I was like, I have one still brand new in the box because I am not waking up to move that thing every night. No, you can just say no. Elf could die in a fiery crash.
No. Maybe Elf moves away.
Maybe
reassigned.
A dinosaur eats the elf on a shelf. Who wins dinosaurs? Maybe it's time for dinosaurs to win.
Maybe the elf on the shelf is replaced in Beck's home with a dinosaur.
Dino on a desktop.
Dino. Oh, I love it. It rolls off the tongue. Put a trademark on that.
I never. That's one of those weird things. Like I didn't grow up with Elf on the Shelf because I remember when people started talking about it. I had never heard of Elf on the Shelf.
I think it's after all of our childhoods because that's a new thing.
It's ridiculous. I believe Pinterest started it. Who knows? But like in my household, we have Saint Nicholas comes to do your stocking.
Great.
Then we also do Hanukkah, and we do Christmas. It's too much.
It's a lot.
That's plenty. If I add Elf on a Shelf in there, no way. And people get crazy too. If you see on Instagram and stuff, people do crazy vignettes with this damn elf.
Elaborate.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's like a full-time job.
Exactly.
No,
Oh,
please.
well, I just want to go back to one more thing in this email. Lego store.
Oh, right.
You know what? I'm kind of been jonesing for I kind of want to get one of those big old massive Lego things. Like after talking to Jackie, she does a lot of Lego things. And actually saw a
Do
commercial.
it.
Like they're really starting to
Treat
push
yourself.
adults welcome Lego, like these massive Lego things that I kind of in the mood to you can make a Lego Titanic for $670. I don't think I'll
Ooh,
do that.
let's start
Don't
smaller.
do that. Just
You
maybe,
love
yeah.
Lego, right, Anne? You're
I
a Lego
mean,
head.
I have so many Legos, you guys. Like I buy
Yeah.
sets and don't open them. I
Maybe
I
you can
buy
sell one to
two.
Wendy.
I buy two. I buy one to keep and one to build. It's
Oh, wow.
Really?
Really?
yeah, not
I
all
didn't
of
know
them.
that.
Yeah, I have like the
Whoa.
Friends
No
set.
idea.
I was like, someday this here's the thing. If you look it up, the price of Lego is a more solid investment than gold
Whoa.
Really?
because and then I just have bins and bins. Like I have like 60-gallon totes of
Wow.
bulk Lego because I was just buying Legos by the pound from people on Facebook for a long time.
Whoa.
I have this dream of doing like an after school, like you come to me and we build Legos thing,
I love that.
like those enrichment programs. Anyway, I have a lot of Legos, but they have like really cool botanical ones right now that like are these flowers and succulents. Those are really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got a lot of really interesting. I love there's a big Avengers Tower, from the first film, like the battle in Avengers Tower. It's like $500. There's also like an $850 Millennium Falcon. I don't know
Yeah,
if I'll go
that's a
that
lot.
big, but
That's
it's
a lot of money.
it is. But I kind of there's some that are like a lot less than that just look like a fun project. Now with cats, I don't know how that's gonna work. Like this cool little alpine lodge you can build with Lego. It looks
Yeah, there's
fun
like a
and cozy.
bookstore. There's like little villages.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
I
for
might
it.
look
Treat
into that.
yourself. Treat yourself.
I
Okay,
might.
well, while Wendy is on Amazon looking at
Shopping
Legos,
for
Shopping for
Legos.
Lego.
I have an email from AK. And the subject is, "This is here. What-oh, my dudes?" Well, I would say it was careless to mislay "this is" like that, but since we found her over here, I guess all's well that ends well, and had the great pleasure bringing "this is" and her lovely lady friend to the finest pub in the great city of Oxford. A pub so good, we all want it to be our local. We saw photos of the pub. It looks pretty epic. It looks like a beautiful place. AK continues. "Oh, I do wish you'd tell us more about Oak Island."
We will.
I love
Dawn.
it. I love it when people understand the assignment. "It sounds amazing. Did you say they found a cross?
Oh, sure. They did.
Was someone for real
7 years ago.
Was someone for real crucified on Oak Island? They found the murder weapon? Breaking news? Happy birthday, B-Rex. Hold on. Happy birthday, B-Rex. You infant, you baby, you more striping, you. I'm sorry, AK. I don't know. I think they're saying that that Beck is just a little baby because they're so young. Hey, I think Beck is younger than we all thought. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hey, I resent you saying you found a total of 0 new friends. Old stick. We may not be in Taz, but we're in your pocket. All you have to do is talk to us. There's normally someone awake at the same time as you. That's right, Beck. You're not alone. We're here. We're here for you. Speaking of ages, what do you think the average age of a SNOP listener is? Ooh, this is interesting. I know we've had a listener who was just graduating, and I know a whole bunch of us are the same age range as you guys. Demographic is hard to guess. I would love to believe we've got SNOP tarts in their 80s. If we've got any sept or octogenarians, it would be amazing to hear from them. Ooh, general message board broadcast. Here we go. Hey, you lot out there. If you think you could maybe qualify as the oldest or the youngest listener, please write in and let us all know. That would be very cool. I love when AK starts producing for us.
Does your job for you. Yeah.
I love it. I wish they would do it more. Damn, distracted again. Gotta send these things sooner. Ciao for now. AK, which Wendy seems to be pronouncing ack now. Harsh.
Did I?
You did.
Well, I
Sorry.
think that would be
It was a joke. Just
a
joke.
compliment because of Amy Acker and how much you love Acker.
That's where
Ack.
Yeah,
that
it's
makes
just
more
the ack.
sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're having an ack attack.
Yeah, that's a great question. I wonder who our youngest and oldest listener is. That would be a fun thing to find out.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know. I guess our whatever those sites are that gives us data on like how
Yeah,
much
it
we're
might
I
be
guess
on
it
your-
doesn't show ages or anything, does it?
It might.
Yeah. I bet you Spotify has more of those type of.
Yeah.
We'll look into it. When we say we, I mean me.
Just because
Okay.
I don't know where to look.
No, I understand. That was
No,
not
we
a-
get it. We
that
get
was not
it.
that was not a dig at you, Wendy.
I just don't know.
We don't have like this vast staff that we can say, hey, off my.
Liz
hey,
is our staff.
That's
Liz,
true.
you look it up.
Yeah, Liz, can you figure out what our demo is, please?
It's gotta be in the server
Guys, we have
thing.
actual mail. It came in a box.
Physical mail.
Uh-oh. It's smoking.
It is is
It's
it?
ticking.
No. And it is made out to SNOP, so I didn't steal it from
Well,
my not. See?
This
see
who
it?
even knows at this? You know what? You should provide proof from now on.
I will. I promise. This is from Carrie, our friend in Tennessee, who has the great accent. Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
There's some things in here.
This box is in the box.
There's a box in the
Say.
box. Here's a letter. Hey, Snop. I was cleaning out some totes at my parents' and found these old Xena cards. I had some doubles of some and thought you guys would love them. There's a lot. There's also a get well present for Tara. Oh, hope you are all doing well, Carrie. All right. Oh boy, I remember these cards. Do you remember these cards?
Oh, heck yeah. I think I have all of them, or at least a lot of them. Which ones are those? Oh, those are the game cards. I can tell from the back.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
cool.
Xena
Oh,
game cards. That's
How
fun.
fun was that to buy a box and then see who you got?
I love
those
it.
are
I
such
love
fun
it.
to do.
Everything's digital now, though.
No, I don't like
I
that.
just want some fun stuff.
Very cool. Thank you, Carrie. This is fun. And then that's what that is. So I think this is for Tara. We're gonna open it.
Yeah.
Yeah, open her present.
Oh, I think this is gonna be good.
Oh, she's gonna love it.
Ooh. Oh, cool. It's a Sub-Zero Funko Pop from, of
Ooh.
course, Mortal Kombat.
Oh, nice.
Fun.
Love that.
Very
Mortal
cool.
Kombat.
She'll put that in the pod pub.
Kombat. Yeah, we will send this along to the pod pub. Very cool. Thank you, Carrie. It's so sweet. We appreciate the mail. And if you
That's
want
cool.
to send us something like Carrie did, you can send that to SNOP. That's SNOP. P.O. Box 6732, Burbank, California, 91510.
You can also send things to the Why Not podcast there.
Also true. And please label which podcast it's intended for, because boy, do people get in trouble if they open other people's mail. It's illegal. So don't, please make it
It's
easy
a
on.
federal crime.
And thank you all for the emails. We always appreciate you guys. Keep sending them. And yes, hold off on the Oak Island bullshit email stuff. So like, but it's coming. So like, we want it flooded with Oak Island
Flooded
stuff.
like the
the gardener shaft.
the garden shaft or
Garden
the
shaft.
money pit, the money hole. Glory.
Well,
what is that one called? The money. Speaking of Oak Island, we're
That's
going to talk about it.
That's a transition right there. So yes, Anne, did all our talk convince you to give it a shot?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I didn't realize it's in its 11th season
Yeah.
because when it first came out, I love me a treasure show.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to watch that show. I think it was called Diggers or something for a while, where it's just two guys with their metal detectors.
That's fun.
I love this kind of stuff. And so I watched it like right from the beginning. I feel like I only watched like 3 or 4 seasons or
Oh, okay.
something.
All
I
right.
didn't realize it was this far. But it's so easy to get roped back in.
Of course.
But it just frustrates me so much because it's just, there's a lot of core drilling and it's always just them picking out wood in a long sample of dirt and then, oh, this is wood. And there's a lot of that. They're digging everywhere. What is left of this island, this poor island? But here's the thing. If I were funded, I wouldn't be able to stop either.
Of course.
Like, I love everything. I love that it was 2 brothers reading the Reader's Digest, which I used to love reading at my grandma's house. It was like all I could find, and I would just read it like crazy. See, I should get the Reader's Digest. Do you subscribe?
No, but I think my mom was getting them, and I found this I don't think she still is. I think it got canceled, but I found this one when I was home last time. And it had Hero Pet, so I brought it back.
It's like the perfect dose of information. It's just like a tiny story done.
I love it. I love Reader. I might subscribe. I don't know, because it's a fun little magazine.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like perfect size too. I know you can get it like in like a big edition for like people who are blind. But like, look, you can throw that in your bag and get on a plane. Tons of entertainment. But yeah, I love those 2 brothers, the Lagina brothers. They do a good job of recapping. So it's like,
I mean, let's be honest, it's all
That's an understatement.
Here's the thing. It's like a soap opera. You can not watch for like 3 years and then get back on and you're like, oh, these people are still here, like whatever. But that's what drives me nuts about it is like, they recap it every time as if you've never watched an episode before in your life. And it's like, no, I'm binging this. You don't get it. I'm going to the next one. Stop telling me what just happened in the last episode or like 5 episodes ago. Like, just get digging. Find some shit. And, oh, it's driving me crazy.
I wonder, I can just see the editors thinking, all right, well, we didn't find much this week. We got to fill this time. Let's remind them of this again. I bet the editors and the people doing it are like so sick of going back, like, remember when they
100%.
found this gold coin? But it's like, well, we got to fill another 3 minutes. So let's bring that back up.
It's a tough assignment, I'm guessing, to edit the show.
It's like well done, but also like excruciatingly done. So it's like they're really good about throwing their graphics in, like, back in December on lot 52, they found the blah, blah, blah. And then they'll show a clip of that. And then they'll show a diagram. And then they'll show what they found. But I get so confused on the timeline. Like, I just need a big chart, like the L word chart, where it's like, this is what because then they take their side quests.
Yeah.
And they're like, all of a sudden they're in Rome. And, oh, there's a cross on this wall that matches the cross that cross really does match.
It's crazy, right?
Because like the top that's like a loop turns, like
it's a
tilts,
little wonky.
And the arms on the cross, one is shorter, one's longer. Like they are weird. Exact matches.
And then they're in that cave system, that ancient cave system that is also dug in the same shape, like in that weird cross thing.
What does that mean?
It's very interesting, Anne.
And I got a little bit of a crush on this new girl who, I don't know how new she is, but she just puts the coins in that machine and tells you what kind of metal it is.
Yeah, what a good gig she has. Huh?
She's been down there for a few years at least, I think.
I
think I skipped some seasons and just caught up.
Yeah.
She's cute. And she's like, this is not modern. I like her.
She's fun.
She's the one to watch.
They had to add some women into this crew because for a long time it was mostly dudes.
Well, they had some other different. I don't know what their actual titles were, but they were digging down by the swamp and they're doing all this work. And one was like a really cute blonde girl and everything, but then they found this pottery that was indigenous to the land or something. So like, we got to shut this down and research it. So I don't know if that group has been back since they shut that down.
They're archaeologists.
That's what I'm confused because I was watching, I don't know what season, and that's when like, oh, now we have archaeologists there. So is that the swamp? They're not there anymore because now they're digging in like a garden shaft or something.
Yeah, the garden shaft, that's the big, like that's where they think the actual treasure is down there somewhere at that shaft. that they've been looking, like poking holes, doing the drilling.
Yeah.
And I forget why they ended up coming back to this. I think people have drilled there before or tried. That's
What
where I
is
think
their
the consensus is
plan?
that it's there. And all these other sites are just trying to shed light on a mystery or find clues.
I don't know what
and
they're
also
doing
to,
anymore.
more content for the show.
Yeah.
Here's my thought.
Please.
Okay, so in the beginning sequence, I say the same thing every time.
Sure.
They talk about the shaft. I'm uncomfortable saying shaft so much, but they say that the curse says one more needs to die, like one more must die before the treasure is found, right?
Yep. It's
Why doesn't one of the brothers just take one for the team?
no.
Oh,
Just
no.
need one person
no.
to die, and then the
No.
money is gonna show up.
Man, no.
If you want, come on, draw straws.
What's
I've
that to be your
always-
brother? Just all they gotta do is push one like random one of those guys drilling the
Yeah.
shaft, just
Yeah, how
accidentally
about
like
Jack?
boom, nudge him,
Somebody's
and then
disposable there, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, Jack doesn't really contribute much. He's just
Which
there to
one's
kind of.
he?
I like Jack.
He's bald. He's got the goatee, and he just
I
runs
like
around. He's always super excited. I mean, I
Yeah,
appreciate
he's got
his
a very good
enthusiasm,
positive.
but he's not
outlook.
like an expert in anything. I think he's like somebody's stepson or something.
He's the son of Craig Tester. I think.
Oh, there you go. Which is that's interesting.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that
No,
at all.
me neither.
I mean, that's my theory. It's just
Just push somebody in.
they get really excited over wood. It took me a while to figure out, like, because that's not naturally underground.
No, it's Anne. Come on, it didn't really take you that long.
But there's trees with like roots. Like,
But this is like cut wood. This is like clearly
Cut
lumber.
by an ads. Have you heard the
That's
talk about
right,
the
the
ads?
ads,
Like this
the-
primitive
yes,
tool.
yes.
You can tell.
Sure,
yeah, the
sure.
cross has me really back into it. It just drives me crazy because it's very slow moving, and
Of
then
course.
the music, like the and then they dig it up, and then it goes oh, and then it's a commercial. I know every time he gets excited, I say out loud, commercial, bam, commercial.
Yeah. Again, it's a TV show. It's not a documentary. Fortunately.
But metal detecting also totally my jam. Like,
Oh, I'm so in.
but I have a metal detector and I haven't used it in a really long time. But when I first got it back in Wisconsin, I dug the shit up out of my backyard. Like there were holes all over my backyard.
What did you find?
Like old Matchbox cars.
Oh, that's fun.
Like I had like 100-year-old house, so I was like, "There's gotta be old stuff here." But that's the thing. Like I would, all the beeps sound the same to me.
Right.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
can
know,
tell the
like,
difference.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, that's just surface, like something."
It's nothing. Yeah. I
How
think he
does
has
he
a
know?
very I think it's a very expensive metal detector.
Yeah, probably not the $100 one. I
I wonder,
got.
does he have a little monitor on that at all that shows
Yeah. I think
depth or
yeah, because
anything?
I've seen other guys like looking at it while he's doing his very like, precise.
Also, how
Searching.
fortunate are they? Like anytime they need to dig, it's not hard to dig. Like their shovel goes right in. I can't even do that in my backyard. I could not get a shovel in this dirt. How do they do it?
Well, they're big, strong.
Because they
men.
actually get rain there and it keeps the soil moist.
Oh,
All right,
interesting.
it is Nova Scotia. Because also they can only do this certain times of the year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like rainy and really bad weather.
Yeah. But really, what are those coins doing there? It's an island. There's
Thank
no
you.
trade
Yeah.
system. It's not like there's a store on this
No.
island.
No, Roman coins.
And then what was
Roman
this last one? They were
coin.
like 17th century or something.
Oh, they found coins from BC, from way, 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 way.
It's insane.
Because I was confused because I came into it season like 8 or 9, maybe, I don't know. And they kept referring like before the discovery of the money pit and pre-searcher. I was like, 'cause I never understood what they were actually talking about. So I went back and I watched it from the first episode just to see the beginnings and how the team came together. And apparently, I guess in 1795, was it? Like some random boys found this pit and there's like this map. And I guess that's the date that they say, like, past anything before that was before other people started looking.
Right. Pre-search.
Right. Okay. Pre-searcher. Because at first I was like, what are they even talking about? And when did they find this? But now I understand. Like, anything they found that's dated before that is like a big deal. Anything after that, like wood, if it's dated after that,
Yeah. It's
then. But then sometimes I think, well, all these coins they find, what if there was like a coin collector that went there one time and dropped all his coins?
just started hucking coins.
You know? He's like,
Well,
wow.
yeah, it could just mean like somebody had it in their pocket.
Yeah, he just had coins from like, he was a coin collector. It doesn't mean like actual people from the, but
Well, he's not a very good collector if he's hucking
he's very
coins.
careless with his coins.
No, and there's so many. It's a weird place. It's a weird place, and they find all these random, weird, intentional things like the swamp. They keep finding more like infrastructure, like someone paved this like very
those
old
cobblestones.
Yeah. It's like a ramp. It's like a boat ramp basically, and they found like old ship wood.
But it's also
and stuff
weird that
in
they
the
don't
swamp.
find more stuff. Like
I know.
like artifact wise, like they're finding that, but like now they just found in that circle thing on that guy's property. Yeah.
Lot 5.
Like a tiny piece of pot. Where's the rest of the pot?
These are good questions.
It's gotta be. Why would it just? It drives me crazy. But I can't look away.
They talk about like a diver will go down and see things and find things and whatever, and they never get back to it. Like they keep talking about like, oh, there's an outline of a possible sunken ship down there. It's like, have they been able to go down and find out? Or like they'll send a diver. It's like, oh, he can't do anything. He can't even touch it. He has to like fan off dirt. That's the most he can do, and then report back. And then like, did they ever actually find something? I feel like there's probably, I'd love to go back and know how many things that looked really interesting, but they couldn't pursue it. And did they ever pursue it?
I think they must be keeping a list of all these potential leads, but I think if and when they find the big payoff here, I think then they'll start to go back and be like, okay, let's start going through this other list. But so yeah, they're really focusing on the garden. Is it the garden shaft? The garden shaft.
The garden shaft and the baby blob area.
The baby blob, and so now I think I'm caught up, Wendy. They have permission to go back into the shaft. They're going to dig farther down because at the end of last season is when Gary jumped down in there in his detector, and he's like, "There's something down here. There's something that we need to look for." So they're gonna. I think this is the year.
Well,
this is the year. Every year.
Here's the thing: they're expanding it 2 levels down because that's where they, in theory, will hit the actual where they're getting the wood when they do these other little drills.
Right.
That's where they're hitting the wood. So they think that's where original tunnel maybe.
Yeah.
And Anne, I don't know if you saw this, but on the Twitter, their Twitter account, they posted a picture before the season started, and it's of the brothers looking at something that you can't see with gold shining up in their faces. And the caption was, "The moment we've all been waiting for." And I'm like, if they don't find a freaking treasure this year, that is very misleading.
That's a big tease.
Not cool.
So here's my question. Let's say these guys, they dig down and they find what they believe is to be the treasure. They find like gold and all this stuff. This is what they've been looking for. Do they keep it from the news? Do they hold on to it until the show premiere? Like until
I think they have to.
I mean, that's a big secret to be sitting on.
Well,
like,
and
nobody's going to say anything.
Well, they probably have to get other people involved, and then they're probably like, you got to sign this NDA.
Yeah.
Because like they could have found it already, and we don't know.
I would imagine if they find it this year, they have found it, because I think it's to the point now that they would have had to stop searching. It's
but also like they keep getting
it's already been done.
People giving them stuff. Like you could figure it out if you really wanted to, because like people have to fund this. So whatever they find, like it's just for the sake of being able to say you found it at this point, because they'll probably have to give back so much money to these investors who.
That's a good question.
Like they have all that new equipment and stuff.
Well, a lot of it, I feel like
just be History Channel money.
I feel like it's a lot of History
Maybe.
Channel. I mean, there may be some more, but I know a lot of it in the beginning, it was the brother. Like the first season, he was like, I need to find something that makes me think it's worthwhile to invest my money.
Right.
Because he already had, like, he was a millionaire at some level
Yeah.
because of his
And
companies.
Craig too, the other guy, isn't he
Yeah,
an
he and
investor
Craig.
as well?
Yeah.
But then,
So,
and now that they have like, because before they used to have to go to somebody else for all these like readings and stuff. And now they have some of that equipment there. So like
mhm.
that
All
didn't come
in-house.
from nowhere.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
History Channel money.
I don't know.
So that, I mean, that's a big. I mean, History Channel. If History Channel is there on the ground when all the stuff is found, that's a huge thing for them. Like that's kind of their jam, right? It's historical mysteries.
'Cause
and
it's
But
stuff.
also
history.
they've milked it for 11 seasons.
They're
Like we don't know. They
have
could have found
to.
it 7 years ago and they just keep.
Oh, you think
Wouldn't
they're
that be a scandal?
They're prolonging it.
Why don't you check out lot 42 again? Wink, wink. I tripped over a stone over there. It looked like it might be a skull. Who knows? And sometimes people are just throwing some coins down. I don't know. There
Well,
is
If I find
another-
out any part of this thing is staged, I'll be so mad because the brothers seem
No.
so sincere. The whole team seems sincere.
This-
If I
the
feel
whole
like
story is just.
I don't think it's staged.
But
It
could
better
you
not be.
imagine having like a thing that you were just a story you were so captivated by, and having the ability, the resources to go look for it?
I know. Please sign
Fucking
me up.
So
Sign me up.
cool.
Sign me up.
There's another show that I watched. I think it was on the History Channel. It's called Pirate Gold of Adak Island.
Ooh.
It's good.
Is
I
it
don't know if they
good?
have another season yet, but it was like it
I like
takes
that.
place on an island, and it's on an old military base.
mm,
And so somehow they got this lore of like somebody remembers while they were there in the military, seeing people moving these things, and a lot was hidden in these like metal tins. And someone found one when they were building some road for the military, like a tin of gold coins.
Whoa.
So this team goes back, but it's this like abandoned military base.
Mm.
And they research and find like, okay, well, it was by this old bunker, but where is that now? And they got really close to things really fast. And then they hit, spoiler, a dead end. But there might be a second season. I have to look. But just watching this show made me think of that one and think like,
Yeah.
oh, I forgot how much I love like piratey, not pirates, but like hidden treasure shows.
Yeah, for sure. God, that's so much fun.
I can find, and then there was another one I want to look at that I came across called Lost Gold of World War II.
Was it lost or was it stolen?
I don't know. And that
think
one's on the
it's
History
lost.
Channel, so I'm going to check that one out too.
Yeah. Well, there's supposedly in North America, there's like still caches of Spanish gold that they came over to colonize, and they would like bury huge amounts of gold to like, okay, we're gonna build a mission here, so let's leave the gold. We'll come back later.
Right.
And apparently, there's people who are hunting to this day for this treasure, and like there's certain like symbols that you can find on trees and old forests or on
should do
stones
this.
and stuff. That's what I'm saying. I really want to be.
Sign
a
me
I
up.
treasure
want to find a
hunter.
treasure. I want to find a
I'm in.
treasure or a missing person so
Okay,
bad.
let's.
We have to focus on one or the other.
I mean, missing person is nice and everything, but let's look for gold.
But the thing is, like, okay, not only like olden days, but like current day, like there are bank robbers who have never been found.
True.
And then people hide shit and then they die. Where, like,
True.
it's got to be somewhere.
All right, we're gonna start a treasure hunting business.
Okay.
I mean, business, not really. I don't think you make a lot of money doing it.
Not
Unless you're the
you
Oak
find
Island
something.
crew. I mean, because everyone's getting paid, right? Like Jack, for instance, who's just kind of moping around digging stuff. Does he get paid? Is he getting a check
don't
from History
know.
Channel?
I don't
He
know
must.
if this is just their spare time. They all got to get a little something.
I would think so because if they have
For
other jobs, they've got to
appearances.
leave them for like a whole several months
Summer.
to come
Yeah.
dig.
Yeah.
Yeah, they must be getting paid.
You know who else was a good treasure hunter? Indiana Jones.
Oh, wow.
Masterful.
Perfect.
So,
Indiana
such a
Dr.
good
Jones.
transition. So I was on Disney Plus the other day, and I'm like, oh, I gotta watch something, and I come across on one of their main watch this, it just came out thing. This is Indiana Jones Harrison Ford documentary. I immediately text Wendy. I'm like, do you know about this? And she's like, yeah, of
didn't
course.
we talk
I'll
about we
watch it
talked
later.
about this on the pod when the trailer came out?
I don't think we did, Wendy.
Oh, I think we
maybe
did.
I wasn't here.
Oh, maybe it was just when Tara and I did it.
Don't
Because the
remember.
trailer had come out and I was like all weepy just watching the trailer.
Oh crap. Okay.
That was one of the times you were gone.
This was news to me. And so, yeah, I was like, I'm watching it. It was really good. So we all watched it because, I think we were texting about it. It's on, of course, the Disney Plus, and it's called Timeless Heroes, Indiana Jones and Harrison Ford. And so, Wendy, I'm going to defer to you. I mean, this is like
This is your wheelhouse here.
This is my wheelhouse.
This is made for you.
Oh, and I loved every minute of it. I mean, the whole... there was a lot of cool behind the scenes footage. It's basically the story. It's kind of a combination of his story and him becoming Indiana Jones. As in it takes you back through their deciding to make the movie, his casting for, the fact he was in Star Wars, his early days as a carpenter. He's coming to Hollywood. He's just getting some small parts. He's like, I just want to, how he didn't even feel like he fit in college until he found.
He's a theater kid.
Yeah. Until he got into the theater group. And he was like, I found the people.
He's from Ripon, Wisconsin. Did not know this. I'm from Wisconsin. This is my rant. This was a rant here.
So early.
He's from Ripon, Wisconsin. I find out by watching this show. I grew up in Wisconsin. Do you know what I know about Ripon? Do you know what Ripon is actually famous for? Cookies.
Oh,
I feel like they're really burying the lead. Why aren't they like home of Harrison Ford?
I would.
Did he live there long?
I don't know if that's where he went to college. He went to Ripon, whatever. So I text Casey and I'm like, when you think of Ripon, Wisconsin, what do you think of? And she said, cookies, Ripon good cookies. I'm like, exactly. And so then I Google it, and the only other thing Ripon will tell you is that it's the birthplace of the Republican Party.
Oh, God. No, they got to switch that out.
No, whoever is in like what is that called? The tourist board of Ripon really needs to up their game because it should be Harrison Ford.
I would think that's a pretty good selling point.
Right?
Yeah, same.
I mean, yeah, I didn't know that's where he was from, actually. I feel like as much as I love Harrison, I don't know a lot about him. I definitely, Ripon, you're not making it known that he's from there because I had no idea. I don't think I knew where he was from.
Same.
But yeah, he went to college. He found his way to a theater group just because he was looking for he wasn't a very good student. He found this class. He got into it. He fell in love with it.
He needed a class he could pass.
Exactly. And
looking for.
So far, so good, Harrison. And then he's like, well, if I want to go do this more, he's like, I'm going to flip a coin. You either go to the East Coast or the West Coast. And it came up West Coast. So he came to California, got some bit parts, ended up in American Graffiti. He took some time out he was like, I got to be a carpenter. He's like building things he wasn't sure how to build, but, he made it work and he built stuff and he had a good reputation to some celebrities as a carpenter. And then obviously he was cast in Star Wars. And I've heard so different ways. I've heard like it be told that he was just happened to be doing some work there as a carpenter. And then he's like, hey, can you read for this part? And then I also heard someone said, hey, get up there and do some work as a carpenter so he'll see you and maybe you can get a whatever. So I don't know. Either way, it was kind of obvious it was meant for him. And then, of course, after Star Wars success, George and Steven hanging out on the beach as you do.
I love this story. In Hawaii.
Steven's complaining he wants to direct the Bond film, but they won't let him do it. And George is like, forget about Bond. I got something better. And he starts telling about Indiana Jones. And the Indiana Jones was born on the beach. And apparently George was wanting to do this even before Star Wars, but then he kind of got distracted by Star Wars. And he liked the old B movie serials and wanted to make this. So the casting started for Indiana Jones. They looked at a whole bunch of random people, including Tom Selleck, which famously couldn't do it because of Magnum PI.
Which is crazy to me. Like,
watching those
back in the day, though, I'm sure that was a thing. Yeah.
Had you seen that footage?
I had seen
before,
that
Wendy?
before somewhere.
I've never seen that. It was incredible.
Yeah. It just feels so weird
He
to
would've-
watch.
He would have been good, but it wouldn't have been
No, it's not
not
the
as
same.
weighty. It wouldn't have had as much weight. You know what I mean? Like
No.
he's a TV guy. I love Tom Selleck. I love Magnum. He's a TV
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Kind of
he
funny.
doesn't strike me as like an adventurer. But also, yeah, one of the things that right away it hit me, it was like right in the beginning sequence, it was something that director James Mangold said. And he said, in my own mind, I cannot separate Harrison from Indiana Jones. And I thought that was so interesting. And I wanted to know, Wendy, for you, is when you think Harrison Ford, do you think Indy or do you think Han?
Oh. I think Han, because that was my first love. But like the very first time I saw Star Wars, I was 9. And I remember the very first time I came away saying, that was pretty good, but I still like The Rescuers better because that was my favorite movie at the time. But I did say, but I liked that Han Solo. I remember from the very beginning. So Han Solo, Harrison Ford is my number one without question. He's my favorite fictional film character of all time. But Indiana Jones is a strong second. So, yeah, it's so I do definitely prefer Han, but I love, love, love Indiana Jones. And, I'm just looking at the list of other people who almost could have played Indiana Jones. And of course, Tom Selleck, which I could see out of these other people listed, I could see why you'd be drawn to Tom Selleck. And George did not like casting the same people twice.
Right.
He didn't like to use the same actors. He's
Yeah,
like,
they were like, no, he's
person.
Han Solo. We can't
Right.
use Han Solo.
Look, Jack Nicholson, Steve Martin,
Oh my gosh.
Chevy Chase. God, no.
No,
ruined
God.
it.
Great. No, Peter Coyote. Again, kind of similar in a little ways, but no, not Peter Coyote. Nick Nolte, Tim Matheson. No, I can see. And then, of course, George showed, I guess, probably an early cut of Empire to Steven. And Steven's like, dude, Harrison is Indiana Jones. Like, this is the guy, obviously. And
Thank God.
thank God. Yeah. And of course, and Harrison read the script, fell in love with it. And then it's just like you see him in the part. I love the old footage of young Harrison dressed as either Han or India.
Oh
He's
God.
so freaking good looking. He's such a handsome dude.
There's so much footage. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing to me, even like at the end when they were showing just like some outtakey clips of them behind the scenes, like all these relationships that were formed, friendships, loving, like people married other people.
Yeah.
And there's all this footage. And it's like, what a treasure trove for these people to be able to look back on their relationships. Like, that's when I first became friends with this person who's been my friend for 35 years. Just having your whole life just on film is really pretty amazing.
It's so cool.
Well, and then even Kathleen Kennedy started like she was like what was her secretary, receptionist?
Secretary. That's so crazy.
Yeah. And worked her way up to, and then met and married Frank Marshall. I love how on Temple of Doom.
I didn't know they were married. Did you
I
know
didn't
they were
either.
married?
I love how they like kind of like
What?
it was like a little like surprise. That's
like,
what
what?
we're married. Yeah.
Didn't know that. Okay.
And of course, Temple of Doom, he cast Kate Capshaw and they end up getting married. And they're just talking about like they're all best friends with Kathleen Kennedy. Right? Like,
Oh my
what a
God.
fun. And then now,
So
of course, you've got the awesome backstory with Ke Huy Quan from now it's like he's in this documentary. And it's like, not like, wow. So that's what he turned into after this movie and no one's ever heard of him. It's like, no, it's Oscar winner. Ke Huy Quan talking about his time with the movie.
And he taught him how to swim.
So cute.
Just
Yeah. Steven said whenever Harrison was in a bad mood, I just send Key over and he'd cheer him up.
I did the talk. I mean, I always knew the story about the big fight scene that never happened in the first one and how they were going to have this big fight, a sword fight. And Harrison was sick that day. So he's like, why don't I just shoot the son of a bitch? And this guy apparently had been training for 3 months.
Yeah,
That's a fight. And they're like, guess what? We're going to do it. He's just going to shoot you. And the first time he was like, like this drawn out death. And literally just fall down. And it was classic, a classic moment.
Poor guy.
Yeah, but you know what?
Moment.
You're way more famous for that scene than you would have ever been if you'd actually done the fight.
Yeah.
No one would have probably thought twice about that fight scene if you'd actually done it. So
because it's so much funnier that he just shoots him.
Great. It's great.
Such a perfect moment.
Why wouldn't he shoot him? He has a gun.
You know, it's interesting. They talk about, you know, and then bringing in his dad, and they're always trying to explore new facets of the character. So it's a study of Indiana Jones and the making of him, bringing in River Phoenix to play his young self because he'd worked with him on Mosquito Coast, and they're you know, like how they're talking about a lot of this is building up to talking about the newest film, but they're like really kind of going into Temple of Doom a little less, a little more. You know, most of the stuff is Raiders and pre-Raiders, and then they do a lot more on Last Crusade with what's his name? Sean Connery. And then it's like, and it's kind of like then, and then after Crystal Skull, like they don't even talk about Crystal Skull. They just completely gloss over Crystal
Guys,
Skull.
I didn't know there were 5 Indiana Jones movies. So I looked it up after I watched
Which one were you missing?
I didn't watch the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I watched it yesterday. What
you
the
did?
What happened? Yeah. What? That's weird.
It's a weird movie.
I'm like, I don't think I saw this. And then I'm like, no, I don't remember any of this whole alien-y thing. Weird.
I like the concept of it. I feel like it was done at a time where both Stephen and George were kind of in this phase of like, oh, these are movies for kids. These are kids movies, which, okay, kids loved Raiders and it was not targeted to kids.
It's not a kids movie.
Like it was, Stephen was, for a while, he like took the guns out of the guy's hands in E.T. and replaced them with phones. They're all trying to like kid proof all these films.
Hate that.
I hate it too. And I think it's, so that was like Indiana Jones doesn't shoot anybody. It's like sort of this like softer, gentler, goofy, funny Indiana Jones. And it, but the thing is too, the way it looked fake. It looked like so many of the scenes looked like they're just on a big sound set. It just completely had no relation to the first one in any capacity. And it's a fun enough movie on its own merit. And it's just like, okay, there's some nice moments, but it wasn't.
It was less treasure hunty and more like supernaturally weird.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I feel like on the thing, he didn't want, I remember George didn't, something like he didn't like the idea of doing aliens from another place. But so George says, I'm like, well, they're not aliens from another planet. They're like time from a different time or something. And so he's like, okay, well, we'll do that then.
They're from the space. They're from the space between the space.
Yes. You've convinced me. This isn't a terrible
idea.
idea.
So we can gloss over that like they did because it was fine. And then, but okay, here's my thing now with, have you seen Dial of Destiny, Anne?
I didn't see the
last one.
No.
It's on Disney Plus. The first time I saw it, I was like, I don't know. I wasn't, it felt weird. I saw it again. Now I love it.
Oh,
and
great.
A big part of things I like about it, for one, I like that Harrison himself probably would have wanted nothing to do with it, but if they didn't explore Indy old,
right,
and what's it like to have your life kind of turned upside down by your aging out of relevance and your body's old and you had this life of adventure and now you don't. And he didn't want to try to do an Indiana Jones and like pretend he was still a young man. And that would have felt weird. But I like that he wanted to explore him being old. He was like, he wanted to do the stunts. He's like, no, they need to see how it looks for an old man to ride a horse.
He's not Tom Cruise.
No. And he's not trying to be. He's being old man. And they explore a lot of that, and which I find refreshing and depressing at the same time because it's true. And it's like, what happens when you age out of the prime of your life and your life of adventure is gone? And now, the whole movie is set up. He's Mutt, which a lot of people, I didn't mind Mutt from Crystal Skull, Shia LaBeouf, Buff Bo, whatever his name is. And I don't like him, but I like the character. Okay. But he's dead now. He died and he went off to war.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Spoiler. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm going to watch it. And there was a lot of the tender moments like that. What you're talking about right now was in this documentary. So I was like, I forgot I haven't watched that one yet. So I got to see it. But
okay.
It just seems really like tug at your heartstrings.
Oh yeah.
It is. There's because it starts, he's married to Marion, but they're split up because of what they went through when he died. So there's a lot of, he's just a sad, lonely old man that astronauts are cool now, not him.
Yeah.
And I love Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I love that they wrote this part for her, and they're like, would you please maybe do this? And she's like, what?
You're joking.
Of course I will. Are you kidding me? I really liked her. I liked I've never even watched Fleabag, but I just like her, and I like what
Yeah,
she brought to this character.
She's very fun.
Yeah, and that they dealt with that, still part of his past, but who he is now, and brought back Sala, who that made me sad too. He's like, I miss our adventures. I miss waking up in the sand and not knowing what adventure was going to happen that day. And now he's just like living there, and because Indy helped him get over to the States, and he's there with his family, which is cool. But it's like it just is depressing. but it's because it's rooted in truth, and it's like no matter who you are, how exciting your life was, at some point you're just an old person that. The young, new, cool astronauts are the ones everybody cares about. You're just some old fossil digging up old fossils. And, and even today, like there were people, like I was trying to set a password and a question and answer and for the security. And it's like, who's your favorite? And I was telling this girl, she was like, okay, who's your favorite actor? I'm like, Harrison Ford. She's like, okay, I don't know who that is. I'm like, what?
Fuck? Get out.
This stupid young girl did not know who Harrison Ford was. So it's like, even with Harrison Ford, he is what he is, but like people today may not know or care.
I'm not great with names I'm just not great with names. I know what it is.
Well, I think it's a certain age, right? Like
still, but I feel like people like that are just timeless,
You couldn't be our age and not know who Harrison Ford is because of all the movies he's done. But like
I feel like yeah,
that's depressing.
But
like there's a girl at work that didn't know Jodie Foster. That too. I'm like, whatever. I give up.
But there was, so it was heavy on the Indiana Jones part. Obviously, it's in the title. But then they did touch on like some of the other stuff he was in. And I totally forgot that he was in that Witness movie, that Amish one. And I loved that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Slow
so
burn.
did he.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Well, they asked him who he wanted to direct it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
And I like how he said that he always did one for them and one for him. So it was like one for like the masses in the studios and then something that he really liked to do.
Yeah, that's so smart.
I mean, now you don't have to watch it because we just told you all about the documentary, but you should still watch it.
Definitely watch it.
There's so much behind the scenes footage that I've never seen from Indy and a little bit from Star Wars. But yeah. And then, I mean, I was telling you guys a little bit about this before we went on, but I can't watch anything now without like crying hysterically at just little kind of things. And I was a mess at the end of this movie.
I'm sure.
I was a mess.
Yeah. I'm afraid I will be after I watch number 5.
Oh, I was a mess at the end of that movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, these guys are they have a part with John Williams too, where he goes and visits them while he's doing the soundtrack for the 5th one. And, John Williams like, oh, Harrison Ford, think of it. He's here, the greatness of Harrison, whatever. And Harrison's like, we wouldn't even be here without you, which I think is 100% true. I think John Williams is vital to the success of all of George and Stephen's films as George and Stephen. They elevated those films to another level. And it's just that group, that George, Stephen, Harrison, John Williams, that's like
you guys have seen John Williams in concert before, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way you can live here and not have
and
gone to the Hollywood Bowl and heard it.
Exactly.
I've seen him twice since I lived here, and once back in like 1997. I actually came out. I didn't know he did this every year. And I was like, John Williams is playing. Let's go see him. And my friend and I flew out.
How old is he?
91, I think.
I watching this, they like focused on his hands at one point, and I was like, fuck, he's got to be old. And then I was just thinking to myself how thankful I was and grateful that I've seen him perform at the Hollywood Bowl, because it's an amazing opportunity. And if you live in the area and you haven't done it, like, and I think he's still doing it.
He did it. I went this last year. In fact, didn't have plans to go, and I was like, I feel like I should. I live here. Yeah, I need to go see this man as many times as I can. So like 2 weeks ahead of time, I was like, Tara, hey, would you have any interest in going in 2 weeks to see John Williams? She's like, sure. So we went.
No better venue. Like it's an amazing place. So.
And speaking of that, this coming Friday, I'm going to go see Mr. Steven Spielberg at a I got an email about they're doing a screening of Maestro, the Bradley Cooper movie, but it said afterward is an in-person Q&A with Spielberg and Bradley Cooper. Spielberg's one of the producers, so I'm like, again, I live here. It's Steven. I need to go. So I got like 3rd row, almost dead center tickets. So, yeah, these are the kind of things that, and I've been lucky enough to see him twice. Like since I'm in the Directors Guild as part of work, they have the Directors Guild Awards, and I've gone the last 2 years, and he's been nominated for the last 2 years. So I didn't get to like go say hi, but
Wendy, is there anything that you have that you would want Steven Spielberg to sign?
The Last America. You know what? Of all the things he's done, I actually do. I have a signature I bought. So is it real or is it not? I don't know. I got it at a comic show in Dallas. It's from Schindler's List. But probably as much as I love Raiders, I think I'd have to go with Close Encounters because that's my second favorite movie. So probably maybe like a big giant Close Encounters poster.
We'll find it and take it because he's really good about staying and letting anyone who wants to meet him.
Really?
He's usually pretty cool about it. So I would bring
Now you
that.
just got me extra excited.
Just in case.
I don't want to carry a giant poster, but I feel like now, yes, I do need to find something at least small in case that opportunity comes that I'm glad you said that. But back to the documentary. Yeah, now shoot, now I got to find some.
Just in case.
Yeah. It was just if you love these films, and here's another thing about Harrison that I love. He is such a love. I feel like he could care less about the fame of celebrity, which he's made very clear more than once. But I think he just loves the craft of a team working to make a picture and tell a story in the best way possible. And I've heard talk too, like he loves hanging out with the crew. He loves just like getting that team together on the set. He does not suffer anyone who is not given 100% to their job.
Yeah.
He will not suffer fools, but he loves the camaraderie and the coming together to put a story together as best possible. And he loves being involved. There's like this little shot of him sticking the little things under a something to like make sure the wheels don't roll. Like he's moving. So I'm sure he'd be happy to lug stuff around the set if he could.
He's breaking some sort of union
Probably,
rule
but it's
by
Harrison,
doing
so who
that.
cares?
But also, like, just another thing that made me like happy but sad, because I'm like cat. Everything just makes me weepy. It's like all these people, not just Harrison, but like the people in that realm. They were all just talking about like being able to do what they love.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, like, I don't love what I do. Like, I do it, but I don't love it. And it's just like, God, to be able to get paid to make a living.
Yeah.
It's work. I get that. There's like tons of stressful stuff. Like, they even showed them like yelling at each other at one point. It's like, we have that kind of relationship. But to be able to like do what you love for this huge span of your life.
It's incredible.
Where it doesn't feel like you're working all the time.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
How fortunate that people are able to do that.
I know. I envy them.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Because, I mean, I work in TV news. I hate news. I never watch news. I just get paid to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to have whatever that passion of yours is, to be able to make a living at it. Look, I love cats. There's not money in cats. Unless you're like some TikTok, Instagram famous
Unless
cat.
somebody hid some treasure inside
a cat. And then they throw it up like a Florkin.
Oh no.
But yeah, that's the love of the craft. And he just seems like such like a very carpenter. He's a pilot. If you're a pilot, you got to have attention to detail. He does not seem like what you would think of as an actor. But it's like for him, I think it's the putting together of the pieces. And he's like, no more, no, he's not more important as an actor than the got other people working on the set as far as like making sure the final product is what it needs to be. And he loves the process.
Yeah, he gets it. He obviously is just loves what he does. The
one thing I wanted more of was I wanted more hot gas, and I wanted a little more personal. I wanted some Callista Flockhart tea.
Right. Or the Carrie Fisher affair, not mentioned.
Yeah. I wanted a little more personal dirt.
It is a Disney documentary, so
you could keep it clean.
You don't want to piss him off.
I wonder if there ever will be like maybe when he's gone, like a documentary about Harrison Ford that will cover more of that.
Maybe a book or something.
Maybe a book. I mean, other people like Carrie talks about him in her book, right?
Oh, she does.
I haven't read it, but I'm sure she does.
No problem spelling that.
Carrie doesn't hold back. Yeah, I mean, he's my favorite film actor. He's,
We
he's
we
Harrison
couldn't
Ford.
tell.
I know.
You should say that more
This,
often.
I love him.
And they're also saying he is a movie star. He has that
Yeah.
charisma on camera. Like, you pay attention to whatever he's doing. He has that presence of a movie star. It's so true.
Yeah,
Boy,
I mean-
we could talk about him all day.
I do.
I know. I do love a couple times. I think it was for this latest movie where he was having this shouting match with James Mangold. And he was saying, "Yeah, Indiana Jones wouldn't do that." He's
Look,
like,
if you don't,
yeah,
you got to defer to him.
He's like, I wouldn't do that. It's like, okay, sir, Mr. Harrison, whatever you say.
Looking for James Mangold. And you know what? And he's the one, like, seeing writers helped him want to be a filmmaker. Like, he's
opening
one of
weekend he saw it.
yeah.
That's so cute.
And to get to actually come full circle and make this movie with not only just Harrison, but like Steven's there, Kathleen Kennedy's there. Like,
Can you imagine? That's unbelievable. Wow.
I don't think I could do it.
And then there's a story that Phoebe was, they're in a scene, like they're running down this staircase and they're supposed to be scared and whatever. And she's just like doing her thing. And the director's like, hey, can you not smile? You're smiling. Can you not? You're supposed to be like scared or whatever. And she's like, I'm not smiling. He's like, come here, take a look at the tape. Oh yeah, no, I'm smiling.
She's like, but
okay.
I'm running behind Indiana Jones.
Like, I'm in this
he's right
movie.
in front of me. Like,
So cool.
that was just so cute. I could see it.
Adorable. Absolutely.
Yeah, she seeed genuinely thrilled to be a part of this.
And they're
as
like,
she
no,
should be.
you're supposed to be acting. You're scared.
Yeah, you're really
It's like,
scared. Right
oh,
now.
that's right. Okay. Let's get him, Indy. Yeah. Got
I
you
would
back.
be too. It's like when they told the story of, like, was it Ewan McGregor when he got on Star Wars and they had lightsaber fights? He was like, he kept making the lightsaber noises, or like the choo, 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 like people making the gun noises when they're shooting for the
That's so
first time on
funny.
a Star Wars set.
Like,
It's like, you just can't.
We'll add that
people-
in later. Don't worry.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
It's like, trust me. Yeah, it's like I can't imagine when you see this iconic hero and actor in his full garb, and you're like the first time Darth Vader walks on set, or you're like, oh my God, it's Darth Vader. Or,
Yeah, that must be unreal.
Well, also, the lady who plays Marion, how they
Karen
talked
Allen.
when they talked about, and I haven't seen 5, but they're like, it's kind of sad to just bring her back for a little bit. So spoiler, she's only in there a little bit, I guess. But that she came on set like 3 days early and was just watching behind the scenes. And it's like, oh, how like heartwarming and heart-wrenching at the same time. It's like these people have aged through this show, and to like have your younger self be in front of your eyes on these films, and then you're I can't even put it into words.
Yeah, it is. It's like
These reunions, and
yeah.
it's a lot.
And she looks really good. Like,
Yeah.
there's some actors her age who have decided to use plastic surgery to maybe make them not look as old. I don't think Karen Allen has had any work done, and I think she looks beautiful.
Yeah,
She
looks
looks
great.
so natural and beautiful.
Mhm.
And thank goodness, because it's, that final scene between the two of them in this movie is like kind of that is the real climax of the movie, I think, is them two together. It's like, they're just two old people who are growing old naturally. And
But it's
she's
also
72.
like
She looks great.
She looks so good.
their outer shell is aging, right? But like when they act, it's like you can hear and see them from like 2 episodes ago. Because like in the crystal whatever creepy skull thing, when she pops out of that tent, and it's it parallels when she pops out in the other one.
Yeah.
It's just like every time she pops back up, it's like they're meeting again.
That's her.
It's very sweet.
Well, and it's like, growing older, like I don't feel any different than I did in my 20s. Like I feel like I'm the same person. I don't look like the same person.
Right.
But I feel like I'm the same person, and you can see it's like,
inside I
Exactly.
feel like 20.
yeah, exactly.
Like my mind like thinks a little bit more thoughtfully than I did at 20. But like, no, I am not an adult. Somebody should be watching over what I am doing. Who let me do this?
Exactly.
Who do I call?
When I get hired for a job, it's like, are you sure you want to hire me? I don't know.
Grown up who could do this stuff.
Think you want me to do this? Yeah. So that's a good. We obviously all liked it. It's a good doc, and yeah, I gotta watch Raiders again. It's a perfect movie, as we always say.
It is perfect.
It's such a good movie.
I think I'm gonna watch the last Indiana Jones today.
You should. It's good.
It's
good.
really good.
Yeah. All right, kids. Well,
We did a
I
thing.
feel like I
did
should
it.
go watch something cool. Now I gotta go find something from Steven, just in case, because you never know.
You never know.
Well, until next week, I guess. You can find us on Twitter. It's not podcast with 1D.
Anne is just looking straight ahead.
Am I supposed to do something?
No, you're fine. I think we're on Instagram and
think so.
Facebook. I don't know if anyone else is on Facebook.
You already did the PO box,
but we're.
I'm on Facebook.
Instagram. We're on Instagram. That's good, Wendy. Then you can tell people. Is it we did this last time. She Nerds Out podcast.
She Nerds Out podcast is Instagram. I don't know what the heck we are on Facebook.
Well, here's the good news. If you go to our website, shenerdsout.com, it links to
there.
all of our socials.
Perfect.
While you're there, you can buy some merch. You can send us a beer. You can get caught up on old episodes. You can send us a message and a voicemail if you want. It's really, you know what it is, guys? It's one-stop snopping.
Yeah, and definitely watch Oak Island.
You don't even have to watch the old, just start afresh.
No,
It'll
they'll
give you all the
recap
backstory
and tell
need.
you everything you missed.
Yes, and there's even on Hulu. I don't know if it's on other stations, but they have like a best of, like the 10 best finds from last seasons, the 10 best sites that, like, there's a really easy way to get caught up.
Yeah.
And you can you're gonna get the Oak Island bug. You're gonna catch the bug. It's a really compelling show that we all love.
I don't see how people leave it because they just keep hooking you.
Yeah.
You think every year, every episode, this is it.
This is it. This is the one. So
I just want to go there and pick up a shovel.
Me too.
We'll help. I'll help.
That would be a good, like that. I would love my job if my job was to go and look for stuff on Oak Island.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or any place like that.
I know.
We gotta look into
We should get
this.
started finding new jobs.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna be treasure hunters.
Okay, let's do it. I'm ready. Okay.
How do we
well,
find a treasure that people aren't already looking for?
That's a good question.
We have to give that a goog.
Start in your own backyard, I guess.
Start looking that up.
All right. Well, till next time, fellow treasure hunters. She nerds out.
Out.
She nerds out. We're girls that like girls that like nerdy things. Nerdy things.
Whoopsh. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah. And did you see him learning how to use that whip?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that was cool.
Pretty good.
He's good
It's
at it.
amazing.
Yeah.
I have a whip like that.
Okay.
I should get in the driveway and check it out.
I used to have the Xena whip.
Please
I
be
sold it.
careful.
All right, I
there
gotta
you
go
go.
get
Right
my
on.
Costco order.
And thank you so much. Oh, we didn't thank you for joining. Well, I think it's implied. Thank you for joining us. We always
Thanks,
love having
Anne.
you.
I would like
I
a
know we're
more
thankful.
formal thank you, please.
I'll shoehorn it in. And a
Skywriting.
big thank you to Anne Hicks-Bleecker. We love you. We love having you. We're honored that you're here.
Are you doing that for real? Because I stopped recording.
Perfect.
Oh,